Hello, and welcome to my channel, Naughty Gnome Crafts. My name is Sarah, and you can find me as Naughty Gnome on Instagram. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, thanks so much for joining me today. This video is going to be all about Needlesharp. But before we get started, today I am wearing the Celine jumpsuit, which is a free pattern from fabricstore.com and out of a linen pinstripe fabric that I got from StyleMaker, and I will try to link the video where I talk about this jumpsuit up in the cards, and I'll also put a link to the pattern in the description box below. I just wanted to let you guys know that I am hearing your comments about the sound quality, and I do apologize again for the sound. I'm still working on it. I need to research different microphones and see which one's going to work the best for me, so I'm sorry that it's taking so long, but I do appreciate your patience and that you're sticking with me as I iron these issues out. So before I actually get into the Needlesharp review, I just want to quickly say that I have no affiliation with the company. I'm a regular customer who pays for my box. I don't know the owner. I don't know anything about the company. This is not sponsored. Even if it was sponsored, I would still give you my honest opinion, but the review that I'm going to get into in just a moment, it's going to have pros and cons. This is going to be my unfiltered, honest opinion of the box. So if you are not aware what Needlesharp is, it is a sewing subscription box, and it's kind of what you'd expect of a typical subscription box. Generally, the typical box that you would get comes with a pattern, and then it comes with the fabric to make the garment, and then also all of the notions that you need for that garment. So thread, or if it needs interfacing, buttons, zippers, other types of hardware, depending on what the project is. It comes with everything that you need. It's basically an all-in-one kit that you can make yourself a garment. I will be linking the website to Needlesharp in the description box below so that you can look it up yourself and see what all the options are. But just kind of briefly telling you what the different options are, there are 4 types of boxes that you can get. The first is called Sew Essential, and it's $65 per box. And I believe that that box is geared more towards beginners, so it's supposed to be very easy to sew. The next box is called Sew Select, which is $85, and I think that it's meant to be just slightly more challenging than the Essential box. The third type of box is called Sew Curvy. It's $105, and that box is specifically tailored for larger sizes, so it always has a nice size range. And the fourth box is called Sew Indulgent, and it's $125, and that box is the luxury box, and so you might get like fancier fabric, or there was one month that I actually got 2 fabrics. It is, I would say every single one of the boxes is worth the price. The quality that you get is very high, and so although subscription boxes are expensive, they just are, and if you sourced everything yourself, you could probably get it more cheaply, but kind of obviously the point of a subscription box is that you get everything that you need all in one. You don't have to source things yourself, and so to me, it makes it worth the premium price in my opinion. Now, all of those prices that I've just quoted you, that is before sales tax. Depending on where you live, you might have to pay sales tax. As a person who lives in New York, I do have to pay sales tax, and so it's actually a little bit more expensive. But yeah, just you can look at the website and see if that applies to you. Okay, so I think before I get into the pros and cons, I'm just going to go ahead and open the box and show you what's inside. The box for August, which we're going to open together, is the, I think I got the Sew Select this time, and the theme, so there's a different theme every month. The theme for August was tiered dresses, I believe, and so the options were the Sew Essential was the Friday Pattern Company Wilder gown. The Sew Select, which is the one I got, is the Doe Myosotis dress. The Sew Curvy, I think it was the Cashmerette, what's the new one they just came out with? I think it was a Cashmerette dress. And then the fourth one for the Sew Indulgent was the Chalk and Notch Marcel dress. So just give me a second and I'll hold up the box. You see what it looks like when it comes in the mail. And then I'm actually going to open it off camera so that we can avoid all of the crunchy rustling sounds. So this is what the box looks like when it comes in the mail. It's all nicely self-contained, and the packaging is lovely, and then it's taped up on the sides. I'm not going to show you the bottom because my address is on the bottom, but yeah, let's just open the box and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, so when you open the box, the interior is all wrapped up nicely in this tissue paper. This is a little bit funny to me because I am just the kind of person that doesn't care at all about packaging, but I know a lot of people do, so I thought I'd just kind of show you each step of the way what it looks like so you can get an idea of what it would look like if you purchased and opened up the box yourself. So I'll be right back with the tissue paper off. So every month you always get this thank you card that has their social media information on the back, and then it also always has this little description card that talks about the fabric and the care instructions, and then they always provide a label. They're not always the same labels, they're usually different every month. I never use labels because I find them itchy, but it is nice that they include it with every single package so that you can put a label in your garment if that is your preference. And then your notions will come in this little bag, and it tells you on the front what's inside. Usually it's thread, and apparently this time you get, oh yeah, you also always get a needle as well, which is always nice to have extra needles. And this has three 1/2-inch buttons. So I'll go ahead and open that up. Sorry, I told you I wasn't gonna rustle things, and then I'm doing it. Okay, so this is a little bit different. You actually get a large spool of thread. All of my other boxes have come with Gutermann thread, like the small ones, and so this is a little bit unusual that you get quite a large thing of thread. It's still Gutermann, it's 100% polyester, but this is a much larger spool of thread than I've ever received in any other box, so that's just interesting. Then you get your needle in this little package here, and the buttons are in another little package. I do like that everything comes in these packets because if you don't make it right away, it's sort of all nicely self-contained. I usually actually just keep the box, like everything in the box until I'm ready to make the garment so that I don't lose anything. These buttons have some little designs on them. It's very pretty. Okay, so that was that little box. Then you have interfacing. This is really nice, high quality interfacing. I've used it before. It's a woven interfacing, which I very much prefer to the like the webbing kind. And then you get your pattern. So the pattern is the Doe Myosotis dress, as I said, and you pretty much always get a paper pattern. I've definitely seen a few of the boxes have said that they would come with like a printout of a PDF, and then I'm not sure how the instructions come, whether you download them or if it comes in the box. I've only ever received paper patterns so far, and I know that a lot of people like that it comes with paper patterns. I'll actually talk about that a little bit more in my pros and cons, but yeah, you get the paper pattern for the dress, and then you also get this little, it always comes with a guide of some sort. This one looks like it's a quick guide to sewing delicate fabrics. To be honest with you, I pretty much never look at these, but it's nice to have tips, especially if you're a beginner. It's good to have advice. And then this is a little bit different from other boxes I've received. I've pretty much every other box I've gotten, it's come with candy. And it does not appear to have any candy in this box, but for me that's just as well because I never actually eat the candy and I just throw it away. But usually there's like little like sugary sweets, like little candies, but not this time, and that's fine with me. And then you also sometimes just get these little extra free gifts, and this looks like a little card that you get, which is very cute. And again, for me it's not like super necessary or anything, but it's just a nice little extra that comes in the box. And finally, the last piece that I have to show you is the fabric, and this is sort of an abstract zebra print. It's a navy background with kind of a taupe color for the stripes, and this is actually a little bit different than something I would normally pick for myself, but that is actually one of the reasons why I subscribe to Needlesharp, to kind of get out of my comfort zone. And let's see what the fabric card says about this fabric. So it says it's a navy and taupe abstract zebra. It's 100% rayon Oikotex certified, 55 inches wide. It has care instructions, and then it has recommendations for sewing. And so yeah, that was the contents of my August Needlesharp box. So this is going to become the Doe Myosotis dress. So let me kind of put all these things off to the side, and then I will tell you about my pros and cons and what I think of Needlesharp. All right, let's start with the pros. Number one, I like that Needlesharp has so many different options. I don't know how normal or other customers handle their subscription. I like to jump around. I like to see what's on offer and then just choose the box that mostly has what I want to make. So some months I'll get the So Essential and some months I'll get the So Indulgent. I just pick according to whatever pattern and fabric combination appeals to me the most. Or if I don't like any of them, I have skipped a box. And that's actually really easy to do in your subscription. If you just don't have the money one month or you just aren't interested in anything, it is easy to go into your subscription and skip it. You just have to do it by a certain time frame or your box is locked in. But it's really easy to change. So that is a definite pro, all the different options that you have available. I've told you about there's a monthly theme and there's the 4 boxes, but if none of those appeal to you, they also every month offer an alternative 4 boxes, which is usually from a previous month. Like they'll bring back something. So for September, the theme is hooded sweatshirts, I think. But let's say you don't like hooded sweatshirts and you want to make something else. The alternative box that's offered for August is, I believe, knit cardigans. So you could choose from any of the 4 options for that box if you wanted that instead. So I just love that there's just a variety of options available. You can pick what you want. You can skip. It's very easy to do that, and that is one of the pros of Needlesharp. The next pro I've already kind of touched on is its wonderful quality fabric. Every single fabric that I've gotten in every box has been really good quality. I guess I have not told you how the fabrics work. So each box you have your pattern option, and in each box you have 3 choices of fabric. So you can look at them all ahead of time. You can select the ones that you want. I would say they don't offer polyester a whole lot, but for me, a person who does not like polyester, I can definitely skip that option and choose something else. There's usually a nice variety of fabrics from prints to solids within each box of the 3 options that you can choose, that you can find something that you like. So I have loved the quality of the fabrics that I've received. They've all been really nice. There's been designer options. I think the designer options are often in the So Indulgent box. But yeah, there's just a lot of variety again, and also just they're all really good quality in my experience so far. The third pro for Needlesharp is that it expands my horizons a little bit. I'm a person who's pretty picky, and sometimes I can kind of get very focused in my lane and I don't want to branch out. And so Needlesharp is kind of a way for me to still choose what I like, but try new things that I would not have typically done on my own. So this is a perfect example. I've seen tons and tons of people make the Myosotis dress and it looks great on so many different figures and body types, but I just was never really sure that it was for me, and so I didn't ever purchase it for myself. I do think that when I make this, I'll probably add waist ties just to be able to cinch in the waist. I know lots of people have done that, and I think that that's going to be a must for my particular figure. But yeah, this just kind of encourages me to branch out a little bit. I probably wouldn't have chosen this dress for myself, just on my own, but I'm happy to try it out since I got it in the box and see if I like it with a few little tweaks. So now that we've covered the pros of Needlesharp, let me just go over a few of the things that I would classify as cons. So the first one is the price. As I said in the beginning what the prices were, it is pretty expensive. If you happen to, for 1 month, you want to purchase a box but you already have the pattern, you can actually opt to skip the pattern, and then that lowers the cost of the box by $10, I think. So that's actually kind of a nice feature too, is if you already have the pattern but you still like the fabric, you can get the box without the pattern and save a little money. But overall, it is pretty pricey, especially the So Indulgent box. I think with tax, the month that I got the So Indulgent, it was like $140-ish, which is a lot. But as I stated, because of the quality of the fabrics and that you get everything that you need to make the garment, ultimately I do think it's worth it for me. I kind of consider it as sort of like a treat to myself. It's a little luxury. If I ever, ran into a month where my budget was tight, I would likely skip Needlesharp because it's not a necessity. Nobody needs a sewing subscription box. But if you can afford it, I think that it's just a nice little way to treat yourself, or even if somebody gets it for you as a gift, or if you give it to another sewist as a gift, it's a nice little luxury that I enjoy. But it is expensive, and that is one of the cons. The second con for me is actually something that most people probably would consider to be a pro, and that is that you receive paper patterns. The only reason that I don't like paper patterns is because I hate tracing, and because they're indie patterns, pretty much, I think all the time they're indie patterns. Indie patterns are expensive, and so therefore I don't want to just cut into the tissue, so I always take the time to trace them. Whereas with a $1.99 Big Four, I might just cut into the tissue because it's like, well, if it doesn't work out, I can buy another one for another $1.99. But the indie patterns are different. So I know a lot of people hate printing out the PDFs and taping them together, but I actually enjoy it. And so for me, it's not a big deal to print out the paper or print out the digital pattern, and then I have the file if I ever need to reprint it, or if my paper pattern got damaged or whatever, I could just print a new copy. I just like PDF patterns more than the printed ones, but I know that a lot of people feel differently. So for me, it's a bit of a con, but for other people, it's probably a pro. Your mileage may vary. So the last con that I would say is really like maybe the most legitimate con to me is that the shipping it can be inconsistent. When I first subscribed to the box, the first of the month comes around, you get charged on your credit card, and then the box was shipped like within the first week of the month. And so I kind of started to expect that to be the case. But in subsequent months, there have been months where it hasn't shipped out for, towards the end of the month, and it's not that consistent. And also I would say the company does not do a great job of notifying you. Like one month, I was expecting to get it in the first week of the month, and I didn't, and it was, the third week of the month or something, and I still hadn't gotten a shipping notice. And I went ahead and sent an email to the company because I was like, well, what if they just accidentally skipped over my subscription and forgot, or like stuff like that does happen when it's like a small company. Like I wasn't mad, it was just I wanted to double check to make sure that I was going to be receiving my box. And the owner was very responsive. She got back to me right away, and she said that there was a holdup on receiving the fabric that was supposed to go in my box, and that was why it was delayed. And I totally understood, and it was perfectly fine. But I personally would have liked to just have received a notice that the boxes are going to be going out a little bit late without having to prompt it, if that makes any sense. I'm sure they're busy, and I get it. It's just, in a perfect world, I would have liked to be a little bit more notified of any delays with shipping, and they don't do that. There's been another box since that first time that the same thing happened. I didn't get the box. Actually, it's this one. I didn't get this box until very late in the month. I was expecting to get it much earlier, and it's fine. I got it. I'm not like upset, but in a perfect world, I would like there to be a little bit more communication about if there's a holdup, it's going to be a few weeks late or whatever. I would like to hear that from the company without having to ask. So that rounds up my review of Needlesharp. I hope that this has been informative to you. Like I said, I will link the website down below. It is not an affiliate link because, as I stated, I'm just a normal customer. But if you're interested in checking it out and it's in your budget, I do recommend it. I think that it's a great service. It's not necessary, like I said, but it's just a nice little way to treat yourself. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the subscription. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comments below. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you next time.